Now on Coast TV News.
River's Edge Review. It is for nearly 200 homes in Milton. What's being presented today to Sussex County officials?
Fenwick light fight, how the coastal town is working to update its ordinance designed to deter light pollution.
A mild start to our Wednesday. Temperatures are in the 40s and 50s. Unfortunately, the clouds and spotty drizzle are going to stick around. When does it finally warm up? I'll have the answer coming up.
Stevenson's spending shift, the financial changes the charter school is making as it battles to remain open.
This is Coast TV News Today.
It is Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Ackerley. Thank you for joining us during our 5 o'clock hour.
Grace, we continue with our Seattle-like feel, gray skies, wet weather though. Walking out the door today, noticeably warmer.
That is true. It's just the price you have to pay for these warmer temperatures right now. We are talking about spring coming up and how nice that will feel. I'm excited, Matt. I am. Even if we have to deal with a little bit of doom and gloom, we get Chris as our shiny spot in the morning.
That's so nice. Chris, look how she set you up there. That is just adorable. Let's bring in First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. You guys are always treating me nice, make me feel good in the morning time. And I'll tell you what, not too bad of a start out there. Right now we're at 42 in Ocean City. We had that fog that rolled in pretty strong late yesterday into the evening. Doing pretty well as far as visibilities are concerned. Most of that has shifted to our north. And as I mentioned, look at these temperatures. 50 Bethany Beach, we're at 48. Gumboro, 47. Salisbury, 46 in Seaford. Average high is 51, so we're actually closer to that right now than we are for our lows, average lows. And there you see the wind flow out of the southwest. We're going to have the winds shift more out of the east as we go into the afternoon. Now we have a few spotty showers and some areas of drizzle pushing across Annapolis. These will push into Kent County, but for the most part we are dry. Just a few areas of drizzle to our south, but you could see this train of moisture just riding along this stalled out front. So we have more shower activity to go here over the next few days. Well, you're going to hear us talk all about the temperature gradient here over the next few days, and we're going to see quite a range in temperatures over the next 3 days, and that's all thanks to a backdoor cold front. So the clouds are really going to hang thick today. We may get some breaks in the afternoon to the south, but I think for the most part, the clouds hang on and highs are going to struggle to get out of the 50s. We're going to generally be in the mid to upper 50s across the peninsula this afternoon. We will talk about that warm up, when it will finally arrive, when those 70-degree temperatures finally make it to the peninsula. I'll have that answer coming up in that full 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this hour, it takes us to the Milton area where a developer wants to build 187 single-family homes. It's on the former Totem Farms property off of Cave Neck Road. And today there is a public hearing in front of the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission for the development known as River's Edge. Now, according to county documents we reviewed, the development would use a cluster design. This allows the grouping of homes. It's designed to preserve portions of open space. DelDOT documents classify the project as having only a minor traffic impact. And to hear what the state said about this application, you can head to our article on our website, coasttv.com.
Also in front of Sussex Planning and Zoning today, a revised site plan review for Revelation Craft Brewing. The Rehoboth business wants to move from its current location on Central Avenue to a facility near the intersection of Rehoboth Avenue, Extended, and Church Street. That's the area that we're showing you on your screen now. Last year, it was proposed that the brewery would go into the office building of the Wayfront Hotel.
New this morning, continued talks in Fenwick Island to reduce light pollution.
Coast TV News reporter Elisa Weber is live in Fenwick. And Elisa, the town's Dark Skies Committee has been working since 2024 to educate the community and fix some outdated rules.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Right now we are driving through Fenwick Island, and this is the time of morning where lights are most important, but they also can be most disruptive, and this is the time when you really want to have those lights, but on those back roads close to homes, that's where you can run into some problems. For over 2 years, the Fenwick Island Dark Skies Committee has been working to modernize and improve current lighting rules. The town says that those current rules have not been updated for 30 years. They want to make sure that they are adapting to new modern technologies, new LED lights, things of that sort. Today, the group will look at the Dark Sky Activity Plan for 2026, an update update on the lighting ordinance status report, as well as review Rehoboth's lighting ordinance, which is something that city has been talking about more frequently over the past couple of months. And that meeting will take place this morning at 10 a.m. Back to you.
Lisa Weber, thank you for that. Happening today at 11 a.m., Terrace Village says it will host a walkthrough of a new upgraded tent program. Organizers are also expected to discuss plans for its upcoming season. And this comes on the eve of Do More 24. That's a fundraising campaign for nonprofits. The Lewis-based nonprofit has set a $20,000 goal to help cover operating costs through November.
New this morning, if you lost food purchased with SNAP benefits due to a power outage related to last week's snowstorm, there could be some relief on the way. According to the Delaware Department of Health and Social Services, people may qualify for replacement benefits. Officials say today is the final day to report food loss and submit for 324. People can report food loss by calling the Division of Social Services and submit Form 324 online or to your local office.
We do have an update for you on a story that we've been covering for over a month now. It's the effort to remain open by the Brian Allen Stevenson School of Excellence in Georgetown. They're approving some changes to its budget after a board meeting last night. Board members shifted money between spending categories, cutting contracted services, and adding more for supplies, but overall spending stayed the same. Board members also said that the school is not in financial trouble, despite a state report suggesting it was running a deficit. All of this comes as the school remains under formal review by the Charter School Accountability Committee, with a decision about its charter renewal expected on March 19th. And according to the Delaware Department of Education, the Brian Allen Stevenson School of Excellence must show stronger support from families if it hopes to stay open. The Delaware Department of Education say that written statements and enrollment commitments are needed to keep the school afloat, and that's the school's low response rate to recent surveys falls short. The department also wants evidence that past operational and financial issues are resolved and that the broader community supports the school. And we have more on this ongoing developing situation, including response from school officials right now on our website, CoastTV.com. And if you live near the Naval Air Station, Patuxent River, you may notice some extra noise tonight. The base of the west side of the Chesapeake Bay says that nighttime testing is scheduled from 6:30 to 8:30. Pilots will be conducting field carrier landing practices, and officials say that the training simulates landing on an aircraft carrier and includes a series of touch-and-go maneuvers, sometimes called bounces. And we're now taking a live look at Dallas, Texas, all lit up on this Wednesday morning. The first primary results of the 2026 midterms are here, with a number of those races taking place in the Lone Star State. This just in, voters headed to the polls there and in North Carolina on Tuesday. These two states could determine control of the Senate in the fall. NBC's Alice Barr shows us the outcome of these races.
Results are in for the first primaries of this year's high-stakes midterm elections, with Texas-sized implications for control of Congress. Four-term Republican incumbent Senator John Cornyn is now headed to a runoff in May with State Attorney General Ken Paxton, with neither candidate winning a majority of the vote. Cornyn casting Paxton as a liability for a series of scandals, from a 2023 impeachment on bribery charges — he was acquitted by the state Senate — to a messy, ongoing public divorce.
I refuse to allow a flawed, self-centered, and shameless candidate like Ken Paxton risk everything we've worked so hard to build over these many years.
Paxton, who's built his credentials through aggressively suing for conservative causes, pushing back.
You listened to what John Cornyn was selling, and you weren't buying it. Tonight, change was on the ballot, and change won.
Whoever prevails in that bruising battle will face Democratic State Representative James Tallarico, who NBC News now projects defeated Representative Jasmine Crockett, as Democrats look to make a play for the traditionally red state, pointing to high turnout.
We are not just trying to win an election. We are trying to fundamentally change our politics. And it's working.
Democrats also aiming to gain ground in North Carolina's Senate race, where Republican Tom Tillis is retiring. Former Democratic Governor Roy Cooper now set to square off against former Republican National Committee Chair Michael Whatley. Two closely watched races that could determine control of the Senate. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Georgetown now seeking applicants for one open seat on its planning commission with a 3-year term that's expiring in May of 2029. Officials say the applicants must be at least 21 years old, a U.S. and Delaware citizen, and live in Georgetown with an interest in urban and rural planning. The commission oversees zoning, land use, and development and meets the third Wednesday of each month at 6 p.m.
The Lewis Board of Public Works says an overnight closure is set to take place this week at Savannah Bridge. That is the area we are showing you right here on your screen. And according to the board, this will begin at 11 p.m. on Thursday. It's expected to last about 3 to 4 hours. Officials say this closure is needed so crews can remove out-of-service infrastructure in the area. Lewis BPW does not expect any utility service interruptions during the project.
And we're just getting started here on this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Yeah, coming up, historic City Hall. We will tell you about the plans for this building that is once again owned by Salisbury.
Also, Worcester County rental debate, the results of a vote by commissioners related to parking.
Still ahead, Bunny Bowl breaks record, the official numbers after Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance, and the show's impact on music across the world. And First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono is in the Weather Center. He's tracking this increase in temperatures and will show us how they compare to the norm for this time of the year. We check in with Chris next.
Good Wednesday morning, Del Monfort. We're halfway there. We're halfway to that weekend. I know I promised to warm up. It's coming. I promise it's coming, but it's just a little bit delayed. We have some showers out there, primarily along the mid-shore, pushing through Annapolis. Very light in nature, just some spotty drizzle for most of us, but we're pretty dry in Salisbury this morning, 47 degrees. So it's a pleasant start from a temperature standpoint. 49 Bethany, 45 in Lewis. Visibility doing pretty well this morning after that fog rolled in last night. So temperatures are going to be cooler at the beaches today, 40s and 50s. I think some of us could sneak out a 60-degree temperature if we get a little bit of breaks in those clouds across the interior portion of the peninsula. Coming up, we'll talk about more unsettled weather, and then the 70-degree temperatures as promised. I'll have that 7-day forecast here in a little bit.
Happening today, University of Delaware is hosting Dining with Diabetes classes. Here's what we're talking about. The university says this program is designed for people with diabetes and their family members. 5-class series includes diabetes education, cooking demonstrations, and tasting of healthy foods. And they say after each lesson, participants will take home recipes and knowledge about how to manage diabetes in their daily lives. These classes begin from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at their extension office in Georgetown. Camp Barnes announcing they are using the lottery system for their 2026 season. The organization says over the past several years they've seen high demand with spots filling up immediately. So now they're using the lottery system to make sure that every Delaware child has a fair chance to attend the camp. It's run by the Delaware State Police.
Consumer news now. Changed a fan favorite menu item. Pea starch has been removed from the restaurant's iconic waffle fries. The change comes after customers online complained about the flavor and texture. The fast food chain added pea starch as an ingredient in 2024, and the goal was to make their waffle fries stay crispier for longer. The ingredient list has now been updated online. And Bad Bunny's Apple Music Super Bowl 60 halftime show shattered global viewership records. According to Apple Music, the NFL, and Rock Nation, the performance racked up more than 4.1 billion views in just 24 hours across broadcast, YouTube, and social platforms. Organizers say that the numbers reflect not just a record night, but a defining moment for global music culture.
Well, the clouds are going to be pretty stubborn to leave over the next few days, and temperatures are going to be all over the place with showers and drizzle chances continuing. I'll break down the latest forecast when Coast TV News Today continues.
Time is 5:18, and you are looking live at Ocean City, where we see some signs of recent rain. If you check out the boardwalk there, it looks a little wet there.
Oh, yeah.
Chris, cannot shake this cloud cover so far this week.
Yeah, it's been pretty stubborn, and it's going to stay here for the next 2, maybe even 3 days, unfortunately, and temperatures are going to be all over the place as well. As we take a live look into Salisbury, the good news is not dealing with much in the way of fog this morning. 47 right now in Salisbury. Now, we still do have a dense marine fog advisory. This goes up on through about 10 o'clock this morning. You can see most of the fog has now shifted to the north. We had some pretty dense fog that developed last night across the peninsula. Temperatures not too bad. 49 in Lewis, 46 in Milford. Average high in Georgetown, 51 for this time of year. So we're pretty close to that. Now, winds are relatively calm, but we're seeing more of a southwest wind flow out there. Most of the shower activity is across Baltimore, Annapolis, very, very light in nature, and can't rule out some spotty drizzle this morning. Most of us stay dry, but you could see this train of moisture extending from the Great Lakes region all the way through the Ohio River Valley. This is going to be a stalled out front that just kind of parks itself over the mid-Atlantic here over the next few days. Now, the heaviest moisture is going to be to our north, but we're going to keep the shower threat really in play through Friday here. So futurecast shows maybe we get some breaks in the clouds. I think some areas across Salisbury, Delmar to the southwest may sneak out a 60-degree temperature, but the clouds are going to hold thick here over the evening, and then we'll see another round of fog develop overnight into Thursday. So we're at 47 in Lewis this afternoon, 57 Georgetown, 51 Chincoteague, 54 Nanacoke. As we go into Thursday, most of the day is dry, but you can see as we go into Thursday night, a pretty strong cluster of showers and maybe even a few rumbles of thunder pushes through the northern portion of the peninsula. Again, most of this is going to be to our north, but we start the day Friday pretty damp with scattered showers and drizzle, and the clouds are going to hold pretty thick, I think, on Friday as well with an east wind. Not a good combination if you want warmth. So as we go into the day tomorrow, we're going to have a pretty sharp gradient, 60s and 70s to the southwest, 40s and 50s to the northeast, and then as we go into Friday, clouds and then a strong east wind. So the 70s are going to be down in Virginia, unfortunately, and then that front's going to push to the north as we go into Saturday. Saturday's still looking like a nice day, and then we'll have a chance of a shower late Sunday as a cold front pushes through. So we go from 66 tomorrow, 54 Friday, 73. We still have 70s on the board there for Matt for Saturday, 69 into Sunday, and then the warmth really kicks into high gear into early next week.
Take that every day in the month of March. In Worcester County, a vote on short-term rentals brought a packed room Tuesday morning as commissioners considered a change tied to parking requirements for some rental properties. Here's what this means. Commissioners voted 6-1 to push back the effective date of the county's 3 parking space requirement for some short-term rentals. Supporters argued some homeowners bought properties and made improvements believing they could rent them out because that parking rule had not been enforced.
It doesn't mean any of us are advocates or for or against short-term rentals. It was something that was in the Department of Planning and Zoning that was not enforced, and we had to make it right.
Commissioner Fiore said the move was about fixing an administrative problem.
And up next on Coast TV News Today, historic City Hall. While the Salisbury mayor says owning this building again will save the city money. We'll be right back. Across Delmarva, one piece of Salisbury history is back in the hands of the city. After more than 20 years, the city owns the historic City Hall building again. With a lot of its original character, defining elements are still intact. Built in 1896, it has been a City Hall's fire station, art museum, and so much more.
Ended up leasing spaces from third parties. This is going to save us about $100,000 a year in operating costs through lease payments and repairs and put us in this location. So that'll really be a benefit to the city long term over time.
The mayor says that the city is hoping to move its neighborhood services department as well as its IT group within the next few months.
Hope your Wednesday morning is off to a great start. It's a damp, balmy start to our day on the boards there in Ocean City, 43 degrees. And yes, the clouds are going to dominate once again throughout the day. And we're going to see some fog develop later on, especially at the coast to our south through Ocean City in Assateague, Fenwick Island. Temperatures getting up into the lower 50s this afternoon. And Lewis, the clouds will hold thick through the day with temperatures holding into the upper 40s and expecting some fog to develop later on today. Cambridge. We get up into the lower to mid 50s. I think some areas along the mid shore and eastern shore could touch 60 degrees this afternoon. Most of the day is dry, and then we'll have another round of showers this evening through the overnight. Congratulations to Eileen Garrity, Ocean View, Delaware, on winning an umbrella from Coast TV. We'll talk about a wide range in temperature shifts over the next few days, and then when those 70-degree temperatures finally make a return to Delmarva coming up.
Thank you, Chris. After the break on Coast TV News today, Americans struggle to evacuate, how the ongoing airstrikes in the Middle East are impacting travel.
Also, lost food relief, the offer in Delaware to help SNAP recipients impacted by power outages from last week.
Plus, former farm faces development. How many homes are being proposed at the location of the former Totem Farms property in Milton? Coast TV News today continues after the break.
Now on Coast TV News.
Working against closure, the financial moves the Brian Allen Stevenson School of Excellence is making in their case to remain open.
Power outage payback. The assistance available if the blizzard's power outage caused you to lose SNAP benefit food.
Fenwick light fight, how the coastal town is working to update its ordinance designed to deter light pollution.
A mild start to our Wednesday. Temperatures are in the 40s and 50s. Unfortunately, the clouds and spotty drizzle are going to stick around. When does it finally warm up? I'll have the answer coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
March 4th, 2026. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for joining us today.
We're hitting 5:30 a.m. in just a couple seconds from now. It's a wet start to our Wednesday, Grace.
It was a wet start to our Wednesday, a wet start to our Tuesday, a wet start to our Monday.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Something like that. I thought we were saying we were going to save the showers for April to fit with that April showers, bring May flowers, and then whatever lion thing you got going on during March.
March is in like a lion, which is the rough weather, and then out like a lamb, which is nicer, warmer
You know what, though? But we've made it month 3 of Matt Pensick's dreaded months, January, February.
The trilogy.
We're almost closing the book. But we do have some nice weather to look forward to this weekend, but we got to get through today
today, and to tell us all about that, let's get right to First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobrano. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Yeah, these clouds are going to be stubborn to leave, unfortunately, here over the next few days as we take a look in through Salisbury. 47, so not too bad this morning as far as the temperatures are concerned. Now, the good news is the fog we had yesterday, not much of an issue. You see, visibilities are well over 10 miles through most of the peninsula. As I mentioned, temperature 48 in Rehoboth. We're at 47 Longneck, 45 Harrington, 46 in Laurel. Now, as far as the winds are concerned, very light out of the southwest between about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Most of the shower activity is across the bay through Annapolis into the mid-shore. Few spotty drizzle across the area, but for the most part, we're dry this morning. But you can see this train of moisture riding along this stalled out frontal boundary that's going to park just to the north of Delmarva. So we're socked into the cloud cover today. Unfortunately, once again, we're dry most of the afternoon. We get up into the mid to upper 50s. Some areas along the mid-shore will get to around 60 this afternoon with another round of some light showers and drizzle and some more fog developing back overnight into early Thursday. We will talk about when the 70-degree temperatures finally arrive on Delmarva here in a little bit.
Thank you, Chris. Now, our top story this hour takes us to the Milton area, where a developer wants to build 187 single-family homes on the former Totem Farms property off of Cave Neck Road. Today, there is a public hearing in front of Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission for the development known as River's Edge. According to the county documents we reviewed, the development would use a cluster design that allows the grouping of homes, which is designed to preserve portions of open space. And DelDOT documents classify the project as having only a minor traffic impact.
In addition to that, also in front of Sussex Planning and Zoning today, there is the revised site plan review for Revelation Craft Brewing. The Rehoboth Beach business wants to move from its current location on Central Avenue to a facility near the intersection of Rehoboth Avenue Extended and Church Street. That's the area that you see right here on your screen. Last year, it was proposed that the brewery would go into the office building of the Wayfront Hotel.
New this morning, continued talks today in Fenwick Island to reduce light pollution.
We have our Elisa Weber live in Fenwick Island, the town's Dark Skies Committee. They've been working since 2024 to educate the community and fix some outdated rules. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Right now we are driving through Fenwick Island, and it's times like this in the early morning hours, late at night, when lights are most important, but they can also be disrupted to those who live around those bright lights and houses that are in the area. Right now we are on the main stretch of Fenwick Island, and for over 2 years the Fenwick Island Dark Skies Committee has been working to modernize and improve its current lighting rules. According to the town, the current ordinance has not been updated in 30 years. They want to make sure that they are getting everything from modern lighting, LED lights covered under those rules. And today that meeting is going to take place at 10 a.m. and the group will look at the dark sky activity plan for 2026, an update to the lighting ordinance, as well as review Rehoboth's lighting ordinance, which has been newly talked about in that city for the past couple of months. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. If you lost food purchased with SNAP benefits due to a power outage related to last week's blizzard, there is some relief on the way. According to the Delaware Department of Health and Social Services, people may qualify for replacement benefits, and officials say today is the final day to report food loss and submit for 324. People can call the Division of Social Services, go online, or go to your local office.
The Brian Allen Stevenson School of Excellence is approving some changes to its budget after a board meeting on Tuesday night.
Yeah, board members there shifted money between spending categories. They're cutting contracted services and adding more for supplies, but overall, spending stayed the same.
Board members also said that the school is not in trouble for financial reasons, despite a state report suggesting that it was running in a deficit.
All this comes as the school remains under formal review by the Charter School Accountability Committee, with a decision about its charter renewal expected on March 19th. Lewis Board of Public Works says an overnight closure is set to take place this week there at the Savannah Bridge, and we're showing you that area on your screen. According to the board, it will begin at 11 p.m. on Thursday. It's expected to last about 3 to 4 hours during that time frame, and officials say the closure is needed so crews can remove out-of-service infrastructure in the area. Lewis BPW does not expect any utility service interruptions during the project.
We are now taking a live look into the capital of Qatar, and that is about 1:30 p.m. right now, and what looks to be a gloomy day.
It does there, and this just in, a source said Israel struck the compound of a group set to choose Iran's new supreme leader. Iranian state media said the building was evacuated before that attack.
As Reed Binion shows us, that strike was one of many Tuesday in this ongoing war.
It's a lot of different things here that need to happen in order to move people.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Tuesday addressing the issue of Americans stranded in the Middle East as the ongoing U.S.-Israeli war with Iran expands across the region.
It'll be a variety of methods: charter flights, military flights and transports, expanded commercial opportunities, and in some cases land routes that will allow them to go to neighboring countries.
The Trump administration facing criticism, including from some stranded Americans. President Donald Trump suggesting Tuesday there was no evacuation plan in place because the war unfolded too quickly. Officials are urging Americans to contact the State Department if they are stuck overseas and need help.
It all starts by knowing that where you are and how we can get a hold of you.
This comes amid continuing attacks on Iran and more retaliatory attacks by Iran on Israel and against countries throughout the Middle East, including a U.S. consulate in Dubai and an airbase in Qatar, where officials say an Iranian ballistic missile struck the largest U.S. military installation in the region. There were no casualties. Meanwhile, sources say the CIA is working to arm Kurdish forces who have operations along the Iraq-Iran border with the goal of sparking an uprising in Iran. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
New overnight, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem faces another round of questioning from lawmakers. This time it's from the House Judiciary Committee. During Tuesday's Senate committee hearing, Noem testified on a variety of issues, including the deadly shootings of 2 protesters in Minneapolis earlier this year and the DHS's use of administrative warrants to search private property and homes.
Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison are scheduled to testify before the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform as part of an ongoing investigation into the alleged misuse of federal funds. Federal prosecutors say that alleged theft involving a pandemic-era children's meal program and Medicaid-funded services total hundreds of millions of dollars. Walz and Ellison, both Democrats, have faced criticism from Republican lawmakers who argue that more should have been done to prevent the alleged fraud.
And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, proposed shopping center plans. The changes moving forward on a nearly 10-acre vacant lot along Route 13 in Dover.
And all city battle in states. The Delmarva Sports Network breaks down tonight's matchup between Waihi and Parkside for a berth in the Maryland Boys Basketball State Tournament quarterfinals.
We salute Donald Reese Rathel. Don proudly served 20 years in the United States Navy, dedicating 2 decades to the country he loved. His pride in wearing the uniform never faded. He often said he would do it all over again if given the chance. Don passed away on December 17, 2020, and was laid to rest with honor at the Veterans Cemetery in Hurlock, Maryland. We are grateful for his service, and his legacy of duty and patriotism will not be forgotten.
Spicer Brothers and CoastTV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a CoastTV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Your Wednesday morning is off to a fantastic start down Delmarva. It's a dry start here along the coast, tracking some light showers and drizzle to the north across the mid-shore. You see the wet boardwalk there. 42 in Ocean City. Temperatures right now are generally in the mid to upper 40s. 43 in Cambridge, 47 Salisbury and Georgetown. So somewhat of a balmy start out there. Fog not an issue this morning, unlike last night where we had some pretty dense fog that developed across the area. Well, we are going to be on the seesaw as far as temperatures are concerned. Clouds are going to hold pretty thick here over the next 3 days. We warm into the mid to upper 60s tomorrow. Then cloud cover and a strong east flow will keep us in the 50s Friday, and then we bump it up to 73 on Saturday. That is certainly good timing going into the weekend. You get your latest forecast by calling our First Alert Weather phone. We'll talk about the rain coming in tonight, light in nature, and then that big warm-up coming up next week.
New this morning, upgrades now underway at Woodcock Park in Salisbury. Officials say the project will bring in new playground equipment as part of an effort to improve public spaces and expand recreational opportunities. Crews have removed the existing equipment with new, modern, and inclusive play features expected to get installed.
Graffiti has been an ongoing issue in Smyrna, and town leaders are taking action. On Monday, Smyrna Town Council passed an ordinance requiring private property owners to remove graffiti on their buildings within 14 days of the notice. If the graffiti is not removed, the town can clean it up and bill the owner with any unpaid costs added to their tax bill. City leaders say that private property and business owners would be responsible for covering the cost of the graffiti cleanup, but the city says it is working on a fund to help offset those expenses.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studio.
Quick, what's your favorite trilogy of all time? Lord of the Rings, OG Star Wars, maybe Back to the Future? All acceptable answers. But tonight, a new series might work its way into the fold when Wicomico boys basketball hosts Parkside for the regional championship. Round 1 and round 2 did go the way of a tribe, but those games were classics both times. The one that you're seeing right now was just last month, and it decided the Bayside South in overtime by 2. And back in January at Parkside, it was decided by only 3. It's very hard to beat a team 3 times in a single season, but as Tayshawn Swan told us after they beat Parkside last month, he thinks his team is peaking.
We always talk about fighting through adversity. We faced a little bit of adversity. They came back through us, but we just kept fighting, kept pushing it. We got to overtime, but we knew once we got in overtime, Javon hit a nice bucket, but once we got in overtime, we knew he wasn't going to lose. We just better. We feel like we're better than everybody. It just feels great to be a part of Waihi. Always be a part of Waihi. Be here for all 4 years. It just feel like last 2 years we had a little bit of adversity. We didn't do as good, but now we got a couple pieces joined to our team, and then we just building, and we just keep building and building and building, and we finally starting to click together now, and we're starting to play our best at the end of the season.
5 o'clock tip tonight between Waihi and Parkside. You can catch it live on DSM+. Have a good one.
Got a lot coming up on DSN today. It starts at 11 a.m. when the Delaware Bluecoats take on the Knicks in G League basketball. Then you can catch that game again at 8 p.m., and it is the final score at 10:30. You can watch that Bluecoats game at 11 a.m. also on DSN+, along with this exclusive 5 p.m. It is that playoff game that we just previewed for you when Waihi goes up against Parkside.
Could Game of Thrones be making its way to your local Cineplex? Douglas Hyde has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is giving Game of Thrones fans another look at Westeros before the events of the original series. And now a Game of Thrones movie is in the works that goes back even farther. The project from Andor writer Beau Willimon reportedly tells the story of the founder of the Targaryen dynasty. No word yet on when it might hit the big screen. Bowen Yang and Alan Cumming are leading a new effort to support the next generation of LGBTQ filmmakers. They're launching the Necessary Foundation, which will provide annual grants to emerging talent. The nonprofit will also connect them to mentors in the entertainment industry.
For 6 dark years, the world was on fire. Conflict that toppled empires and reshaped the modern world.
The History Channel is taking a fresh look at World War II with a little help from a Hollywood A-lister. World War II with Tom Hanks examines the conflict through a modern lens. The 20-episode documentary series debuts, appropriately enough, on Memorial Day. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
If you're having a rough week, cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do, and more each weekend. You can sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign up to get Weekly Dose of Joy directly to your inbox on Friday, or you can get your Weekly Dose of Joy right here with Chris Mastrobono.
Thank you very much, Grace. I wish I had some better news. I wish I had some sun to deliver today. Clouds are going to be dominating, temperatures in the 50s. We'll talk about more showers, more drizzle, more fog. When are the 70-degree temperatures going to arrive? I'll be answering that.
The time is now 5:49 a.m. as we're taking a live look out into Salisbury. Chris, waking up to yet another damp morning.
Yeah, we got some, the temperature's not too bad this morning, but yeah, that damp feel's still in the air, and we're tracking more showers later on today. We're dry right now, and temperatures are not going to be rising all that much through the afternoon, at least initially, because we're going to see a lot of cloud cover across the area. Now, we still have that dense marine fog advisory up from the bay through the Atlantic, and that runs through 10 o'clock this morning. Seeing some fog trying to develop there along Cambridge, but for the most part, that fog is now shifted to the north. Temperatures not too bad out there. 46 Millsboro, we're at 47 Georgetown, 47 in Ocean Pines. Winds are calm, generally out of the southwest. Most of the shower activity is up through the northern portion of the midshore, right there along the Chesapeake Bay, up through Newcastle County. Very light in nature, but you can see this train of moisture. This front is just going to stall out over the mid-Atlantic here, and we're going to have these impulses of moisture right along that front over the next 3 days. So our rain chance is not really screaming off the board. I think we're going to miss the heaviest rain here over the next few days, but we're going to continue to see areas of showers and drizzle here. So we stay dry through the afternoon. Into the evening, can't rule out a spotty shower. Some patchy fog develops across the area into early Thursday with some spotty drizzle. By the time we get to the afternoon, we dry things out. Highs today, 47 in Lewis, 57 Georgetown, a little milder the further inland you go. Western Sussex, interior portions of the peninsula as we go into the afternoon. Thursday, most of the afternoon is dry. Temperatures are going to be quite a temperature gradient across the area tomorrow. Then as we go into tomorrow night, notice this cluster of heavy rain and even some embedded thunderstorms to our north, pushing through Kent County, Newcastle County. Again, and the bulk of this rain is going to be to our north. I think most of the area just sees some light showers and some spotty drizzle into Friday morning. Friday, not that pretty of a day. We're going to have a lot of cloud cover and an east wind. That does not bode well for a warm-up. As we go into Thursday, note that temperature gradient. 40s and 50s to the north across Jersey, northern Delaware. I think through the heart of Delmarva will be in the 60s. I think some areas, southwestern portions, say Crisfield, through Accomack County, could touch in the upper 60s to around 70. But then as that east wind pushes through on Friday, yeah, we're all in the 40s. In fact, some areas may struggle to get out of the upper 40s across the peninsula. But there's the 70s back off across Richmond, Norfolk, and then those 70s will push back into the area as we go into the start of the weekend. As we go into Sunday, we'll have a front push through that could give us a late shower or even a brief thunderstorm opportunity as we go into Sunday evening, and then the warm-up really kicks in as we go into the early part of next week. So a bit of a seesaw here as far as the temperatures are concerned. Saturday still does look like a really nice day. We start off with some clouds and fog, and then we clear out through the afternoon, and then the warmth kicks into high gear there early next week. Grace.
Thank you, Chris. Some things to know. A nearly 10-acre vacant lot along Route 13 in Dover could see some new life soon. Plans for the proposed DuPont Plaza shopping center are moving forward after a city's planning commission approved the project's master plan in January. Officials say that the first phase would include a Tractor Supply as the anchor tenant, along with 3 additional retail buildings. Business leaders are saying the development would mark the largest commercial expansion that the corridor has seen in years.
It's the only empty space along Highway 13 that's remaining right here through the corridor. And so it would be good for it to finally have something on there that would be purposeful and useful to the residents that are coming in.
Next, the developer is preparing to submit administrative site plans for each phase as the project continues moving forward. And our director is warning us about the cuteness of these coastal pets today. Matt Pense. 3 for 3. Matt, check that out. I don't think we ever had, have we had 3 coastal pets in a while?
We must have at some point, but let's talk about this crew here on your screen. We have Mama, the black lab, and then the Lavender and Helios. Those are the 2 English bulldogs. Mama is a rescue from Grassroots Rescue. All 3 were submitted to us by Lisa in Millsboro, who says, and I do not doubt this at all, Grace, that these dogs are her pride and joy.
Look at how scrunchy their little faces are. And it looks like Mama's a black lab. You know, we love those here. And we've been getting a lot of rescues lately. That's awesome.
That is great, yes.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Lisa, for sending in these photos. We want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. You can send us pictures and tell us what makes them so special. If you could take a look at your screen now.
That is where you'll find that QR code top center. Scan that, get your friends to Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. We are bringing back First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono, and we continue with these dreary conditions. Same look as yesterday, Grace, but maybe it's an added bonus. It is a little bit warmer out there.
I think we'll be happy when we get all this nice precipitation and all the flowers start to bloom and the snow goes away, Chris.
Finally can see that sunshine, right? So we'll be a little warmer than where we were yesterday, into the mid to upper 50s across the peninsula this afternoon. Most of the day is dry. Some spotty drizzle. I think the better chance of drizzle and showers comes in during the evening. We'll have some more fog develops as well. By tomorrow, 66. We're going to have quite a temperature gradient across the area tomorrow. Better chance of showers comes in at night. Friday, not panning out to be too good, as warm as we thought. We're going to have more of an east wind, a lot of clouds, chance of showers in the morning, and then the warmth builds in for the weekend, 73. And then there's what we're talking about. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, mid to upper 70s, and then we cool down late next week.
Thank you, Chris. And coming up on our next hour, Cluster Concept Considered, the latest housing development that is getting reviewed in Sussex County, and what DelDOT is saying about its impact to local traffic in Milton. That and more when we continue with Coast TV News Today.